authored and you also supported and was published in 1973, entitled The Systematization of Russian Government, Social Evolution in the Domestic Administration of Imperial Russia, 1711 to 1905. As I stated, I've chosen to add this portion to ADAHMAN 1907 because when a person makes a request for information, the request should be granted. If there's a fee involved in the request, then a fee will be paid. When you pay $2,000 a course for tuition, and your internet education is still relatively new, I do not think that what happened needed to happen in the way that it did happen. But first, let me cite their objectives. This section of Women's Studies 100 is dedicated to introduce students to some of the approaches and perspectives used in women's studies, primarily focusing on women in the exploration of the difference of the experiences of women in a wide range of social, economic, cultural contexts. We will examine the complex relationships between women's identities, the material realities of women's life experiences, social institutions, and the construction and maintenance of cultural and ideological meaning systems that both justify systems of oppression and allow openings for resistance and change. Thus, we will draw on anthropological, sociological, historical, literary sources and perspectives, as well as our own experiences as women and men in a gender-stratified, power-differential society, in attempting to understand how social meanings of self and other are construed and maintained, and subsequently internalized by each of us in particular ways, depending on our social location. The objective dealt with American women, not European socialist feminists. The Frankenberg article to be found is distributed in a tongue-in-cheek manner, I might add, seeing clearly the pagination numbers running throughout the notes to Chapter 1 within 1 envelope 6. I stand behind my use of the Moynihan Report and present it to you in its entirety with further explanation provided on in envelope 2. The Frankenberg article, entitled The Social Construction of Whiteness, in reality deals primarily with European socialist feminists. Let this be clearly understood. As I have stated, I am not going to be held responsible as a student for all of the transgressions that occurred in Africa. So basically, when you gave that article concerning the social construction of whiteness, and you were fully aware that there were authored people inside the article that were from Europe, how on earth can you not defend the United States of America in all of its efforts to provide some kind of a discourse on a daily basis that is not going to lead to bloodshed? inside your Women's Studies Center at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, you did not even provide the notes to the back of the book concerning the bibliography. Having been employed with Kinko's copies, I am well aware of copyright infringement. What I was not aware of at the time of 1991 was the accurate statements of the lawsuit Kinko's graphic